Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Tech Chit Chat Show. If you're new here, my name is Ken. You can find me on Northern Viking Everyday and Northern Viking Explorer on YouTube. I'm here with my co-host Stephen Loney on YouTube, 8-Bit Warrior on Twitter. Good morning there, Stephen. How are you today?
Good morning, Ken. Happy Tuesday. I'm good. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful. It's nice and spring-like outside, and just my favorite time of year. So.
Nice.
Yeah. And you have a good weekend?
Yeah. I had a good weekend. Again, I struggled to remember. I mean, every week, I know I make it to church on a Sunday and that's it. Other than that, I don't remember my weekends, but it was good. It was good.
So. Awesome. We've got Thomas is here. Thanks for joining us, Thomas, from video editing class. And we appreciate that. We've got a few others. Let us know in the comments where you're from, watching from. We'd like to hear about that. We've got a good show for you today. We are going to be talking some cool stuff. Funko Pop video game. The Call of Duty board game. We're going to be talking some RTX 4070, some Ryzen CPUs, and some kind of hack stuff with thermal cameras. So we'll get into that shortly. So yeah, it'll be good. Cody's here with us today. Welcome, Cody.
Good morning, Cody.
Yes. So thanks for joining us. And I saw there was a few others out there as well that had popped in. So, Import Race. Hello. Thanks for joining in. We appreciate you.
Good morning, Import Race.
I like the car.
Start your engines.
Your logo.
It's time to go.
Start your engines.
Import Race is here.
Import Race, yes. So good morning and cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Cheers.
Who's brought coffee this morning?
Ooh,
good morning.
Florida.
I have interesting mug.
What, you were going to say something about our coffee mugs?
Yeah. So, if anybody out there wants to buy us a coffee, you can follow the link below, and we'll get post-it notes and say so and so bought our coffee today. So if you'd like to do that, that's an option. If you guys feel like you do that. But also, Ken, at 100 subscribers, we're also looking to upgrade our lowly 720p to 1080 full 1080p here on YouTube and other streaming services with video. So if you would like to encourage us to flip the switch.
Yes. Well, we're at 97. We've already paid for the service. We're just waiting to turn it on. So
because we said we're waiting for 100, so we need to wait. We need to keep to our word. So
I'm like I did last week. My mouse is hovering over the button right now, and I'm not sure. I'd probably crash the whole system if I switched it midstream. But
speaking of last week you were struggling to stop the stream, and we were still hanging around because your mouse was messing up.
My mouse.
When's it gonna end? So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, it was. And Import Race has given us a cheers here with our coffee. I'm assuming that's what it's for.
Cheers, Import Race.
Here. So awesome. So I guess we'll dive into it. Unless you have anything else fun to talk about.
No, I think we should. Let's
tech related.
Let's go.
Funko Pop video game.
Yeah.
I saw that you showed this to me, and I saw it. And I'm like, that is actually pretty cool. I thought
it's a thing. I mean, Funko Pops, what they are. Have your kids have any Funko Pops?
Well, it's funny, honestly. Yes, they both have quite a few, or my boys do. The funny thing is, yesterday I came home from Costco and I walk into the family room, and my one son is got all his Funko Pops on the table and checking their value because he wants to sell them.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, maybe you should hang on to those because this might drive up the price if this game is good.
Yeah.
Because they were sitting in a box. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's there's quite a few Funkos in our house.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, the game itself. Oh, sorry, you were gonna say?
I'm saying that I never collected them, but I have a family member that collected them, and he would do stuff. So I know somebody who's quite into them. So yeah, not myself, but anyway, yeah.
Thomas says he has some expensive ones now. Yes, he does, and Yoshi is not Can we go 1440p instead of
Settle down, Yoshi. Settle down.
Maybe that's the million subscribers. I need to upgrade my internet for that. I don't know.
Yoshi's gonna be buying your coffee each week then if we're going 1440p.
Yeah, settle down, Yoshi. Come on now. One step at a time.
Yeah.
Next, he's gonna be asking for 4K and 8K.
Yeah, I know. He's never satisfied with what we do.
He wants the immersive 3D experience. 0 Funko Pops.
Wow.
All right.
Yoshi has no Funko Pops. Just saying. Likewise, I only have like 1 or 2 because I inherited some. So
that's no fun. Go. Never mind. That joke failed. Anyway,
carrying on.
So there's a trailer. You can go watch it. And do you want to talk about who's the creator is?
Yeah. So the original creator of, if this seems familiar to kind of like the Lego games, it's possibly because the guy behind the Lego games, I think his name is John. I think his last name is Burton. Maybe I can't remember. I'll call him John Burton. He was like one of the founding, or the founding. I'm not sure how many guys were involved with Telltale Games. Is what Traveler's Tale Games. I think who made the Lego games. But he left that company like a year or 2 ago and started a new company called 1010 Games, and they've taken on the IP from Funko Pops, which gives. So again, it seems similar to Lego games where they work with an IP and there's a variety in there of things, and it seems it could be somewhat similar. But they'll be taking on some IPs that are like a little bit not as safe and friendly all the time as like with the Lego. Like there's a bit less restriction, I think, there. So
I feel like in watching the trailer, there's more guns and like knocking heads off and things like that. So.
Yeah, so it still seems kind of like friendly in a way and not just like a gore fest kind of stuff, but it seems a little less restricted than what like the Lego games would allow, or like Disney. I think they had maybe some Disney games as well, where there'd be just more limitations in what you could do. So yeah, and of course there's tons of different IPs connected with Funko Pops, so it's kind of that again variety of different.
A couple of things I want to say. So the trailer shows some Jurassic World stuff. There's some dinosaurs in there. Back to the Future, Umbrella Academy, The Thing, Child's Play 2, Masters of the Universe, Shaun of the Dead. So there's quite a few different characters in the trailer. So you can find a link to this article in the description, and the trailer's right there. But the other thing is they're partnered with, where was it? Universal Games.
Okay. For
this. So so it'll be really interesting. I feel like it said here when it's coming out. It's expected to come out on PC in 2024 with unspecified consoles. So
but as they mentioned in the article, it likely a lot of consoles, because like the Lego games did that. They went to pretty much as many platforms as they reasonably could. But it wouldn't be surprising if they did this with us as well. Like, I would imagine PS4, PS5, Xbox. I would imagine. So I don't know about the Switch. The Switch would be the odd one out. I'm not sure. I'm going to guess yes. They probably will even target the Switch.
But even back in the day, the Lego games were on the Wii.
Yeah,
exactly. So and Harry Potter, I think, and
Thomas is saying Wii port, please.
Report, please.
I don't think you're going to get it. But Thomas also brings up a good point. John Burton. Yoshi says John Burton is the GOAT. I guess that's what the kids are saying these days. And Thomas also brings up Sonic 3D Blast. So John Burton was the one behind the Sonic 3D Blast, and also the racing Sonic game on the Sega Saturn.
Oh yeah. Oh
Sonic
no,
R.
there was a. Oh,
Sonic
is that
R.
different than the? There was a racing Sonic game, I think, on the PlayStation.
No, this was
on that different?
I think so. This was on the Sega Saturn. Anyways, Sonic R. It was like an early 3D. I think it's janky. It looks but there's kind of a cult following for it. So the developer behind this one guy, like there's a lot of gaming, there's a lot of development history there. It didn't just come out of nowhere. So
yeah.
Yeah, and side note, John Burton has a channel called Game Hut on YouTube, which is pretty cool. He goes over like tricks they use in like the Sega Genesis and things back in the day, how to do like these cool tricks and things. So yeah, just yeah. Anyway, side note.
The in watching the trailer, it reminded me. It did look a lot like Indiana Jones, like our Lego Indiana Jones kind of feeling, or like the Lego games, I should say, Batman.
Yeah,
our kids all played a ton of that in our house. But it also, I don't want to call some of the scenes reminded me of like Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
So kind of maybe a cross between those.
But even then, apparently from this article from Polygon, they're saying that apparently we'll have online multiplayer for 4 people, which sounds like Little Big Planet. Like, seems, again, that's kind of what they targeted. So, oh yeah, Coding Secrets. Yeah, so John Burton also has Game Hut, but he also has the other channel called Coding Secrets. That's where he's been focusing on like 16-bit consoles and how they push performance out of it and things that they would do. He also worked on the Toy Story game on the Sega Genesis and how they were able to get like a 3D effect going on the Sega Genesis 16-bit hardware and things like that. So yeah, Coding Secrets. Yeah, thanks Yoshi for that shout out there.
I do appreciate that Yoshi is probably the only one who got my joke.
There was a joke?
That's no fun, Co.
It takes Yoshi to make the joke funny. I went right over my head. Yeah.
Does this mean it took him 4 hours to get the joke, or was that something else?
No. John Burton posted, I think, 4 hours ago.
Oh, okay.
Funko Pop game.
Gotcha.
So.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm actually excited about this one. It kind of looks fun, and I shouldn't say it kind of looks fun. It looks fun. So
yeah, I'm not I'm a little torn over the edgier content. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But because I like just my wholesome video games and stuff. But anyways, we'll see. It's interesting.
But speaking of fun, like lots of fun, there's also a Call of Duty board game coming. Did you like the segue there?
That was pretty smooth, Ken. It was better than your joke that fell flat.
That's true. Call of Duty board game. This is actually a thing. And we have an article from Mobile Syrup, and it says, you may not have asked for it, but you're getting a Call of Duty board game. So that's a thing. That's
a thing. That's what I was going to say. That's a thing. Can we go to the next article? Well, thanks, guys, for joining us today.
Sold. Thomas is buying it.
Wow.
So, so the Call of Duty board game, the funny part about this article, there's a trailer that has no pictures of the board game in it. You can go watch it. It's mostly just flashes of kind of pictures
images
of Call of Duty characters. There's not really a lot about this game, but it's coming. Yeah.
Well, what do you think? So apparently there will be like maybe designs of the game based upon existing maps from Call of Duty. So how does that work?
There's not a lot of information, so I'm not even sure why we have this in here. But
what if there are like 4 different boards that you could like? So you know how like Settlers of Catan. This is pure speculation at this point because you're right. There's very little to go with on this article. Yeah. So, but you know how in Settlers of Catan, how each time you play the game you can randomize it and it's different. So
well, okay, let me stop you there. We have the family edition of Catan, which is the same every time.
To just make it easier, and so you don't have to
I think it's for like kids, or I'm not sure. So we actually have the full one now as well,
which is better, I think.
Yeah. Thomas has a point here. Monopoly Call of Duty would have been better. I'm not going to argue with you there. Well, let's see what the game's like first of all. But yeah. So they're not sure if there's going to be kill streaks and if there's going to be zombies and all that stuff in here. Nobody seems to know.
Yeah,
but there is a board game coming.
I mean, there is mechanics to work with. If I don't know anything about the design team behind this game, but there is content to work with.
So in all reality, though, I think it's like a tactical and planning game, which could actually be really cool. And
It could be.
I don't want to throw down a game before I have seen it a little closer, because it could be really good if it's, because I like tactical and strategy board games, like the Risk type stuff. Like you think about Risk and dominating the world, but there's a lot of strategy involved in that. So I feel like if it kind of goes down the strategy and trying to, like, I can see a kill streak thing being actually kind of cool in there. If you think about Risk, where if you beat the opponent this many times in a row, you get a bonus or different things like that. I think this could be, actually, it has potential to be a fun game.
Yeah. This has me thinking, though. A board game that I'd be interested in is like an XCOM board game. For whoever knows what XCOM is and kind of that strat, like it's not a first-person shooter game, but if they make it feel, there's room to make something feel good there. I'm hoping that they really, Anyway, we'll wait and see.
Yeah, I think mostly I'm disappointed that there wasn't footage of what the game actually looks like.
Yeah, we have very little to go with.
That's just the box.
Yeah, Yoshi says chess, but with kill streaks.
There you go.
Yoshi, go market it. Yoshi has to go market it now.
Yeah. We were actually just talking about a different game earlier today before we started. Oil Man.
Yeah, that's obscure. You have an obscure board game that you bought from like the late 80s or something?
Yeah, I was a little kid and I got it for my birthday.
Yeah.
And it's like this picture of the world, or a board that's really thick. And then you buy parts of the world and you drill for oil in it.
Yeah.
If you want to, and they go for like $200 to $300 on eBay for a used one. So it's a fun game.
Yeah,
you can actually buy it new again. I think that they stopped selling it for a long time, but you can buy it new again. So
an obscure Canadian-made board game that.
Yeah.
We
got it. Bought it at like the market, like I think from the original creator of it.
Right.
So it was like before I think it was even released, maybe in stores. But yeah.
Yoshi, when Steven says XCOM, he means Mario plus Rabbids. I mean, I never technically played that. I know what you mean, but that kind of game, Yoshi knows what I'm
Is that something about. Like Mario and Sonic Olympics?
Let's go to the next article. Let's carry on. Next article? Before we confuse you. No, it's nothing like that.
No? Okay.
No.
So we're going to jump into something that we almost talk about every week.
It's not GPUs, is it?
It might be.
It is. There we are. Yeah. What is it, Ken?
Why do we always talk about GPUs?
It's easy. There's always news on GPUs.
There is always news on GPUs. Yeah. Hey, that's kind of rhymes now.
News on GPUs.
Does anybody want a peanut?
Stop it. Please carry on. So the NVIDIA RTX 4070 is what? It's dropping below what?
It's drops below launch prices.
Right. But didn't it just
note to self, I don't know if that's MSRP or not.
I think so.
Below launch prices.
I think it was the MSRP. At least this was at least in Germany or somewhere. I think it was.
Yeah, in Germany. So they're talking euros, $60 drop. In price, so it's below 600 euros. They haven't been selling as quickly as they'd hoped. Yeah, and even on launch day, they weren't selling out, which was actually quite surprising, I think, for them and for most people. And I think they took a hiatus. They stopped manufacturing for like 2 weeks of the graphics cards to help kind of supply dwindle a little bit.
Yeah. So the MSRP, so in US dollars was, how much was it? Sorry, $499?
600.
$599, right?
Yeah, or 600, I believe. Over on Amazon, I did a quick search. They're $599. Yeah. You can get a whole bunch of different brands. Some of them are more, depending on what you want.
To get some context, I'm looking at the launch price of what the 1070 was. So the 1000 series cards, the 10th gen, $379 was the launch price.
Well, and I think that's what people want a $400 graphics card. And I think this article talks about it as well. Like there's a there's a real demand for $400 graphics cards.
Yeah.
And there's also, I think it talks about the 4060 Ti potentially being announced or coming soon. And right. I just think that people are just wondering if they should maybe wait for those instead.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a hard sell. I've seen getting the feel of like reviews online that people are not a big fan of this performance and pricing. Again, I feel like,
I think the performance is fine. I think it's just the pricing for performance.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So, but there is speculation that it'll drop here in North America later this month as other cards are getting announced. There was just looking back here in that article, they're expecting the 4060 Ti, as I'd mentioned, at Computex later this month. It's rumored to be launching, and as well, AMD is reportedly prepping a RX 7600.
Yeah.
So there's potential for other cards, and if this is competing with that, you'd mentioned rough performance compared to a 30 series.
Yeah, it's basically a 3080.
Okay.
So the difference you would get is I can't remember if the 3080 series had the 3000 series has AV1 encoding decoding. I can't remember. But the main difference off the top of my head between the 3080 and the 4070 would be like DLSS3 support.
Okay.
So, but if you're not into that, it's not a big change if you don't care for that tech. I would rather, I mean, I might just prefer to go for a used market on 3080 and save money.
Yeah. So if you were buying a graphics card and this card and the 3080 were the same price.
If they were, sorry?
So if you're going to the store,
yeah,
and this card and the 3080 are the same price, which one are you picking up?
Well, I'm going for this one if they're the same price, new.
Yeah.
But I would option the 3080 on the used market. I'd expect it to be discounted, right? And I might just go for that.
But 30 series cards still seem to be quite pricey. Like I don't feel like they've dropped in price.
I think I honestly, but yeah, Yoshi's saying AV1 encode. Does the 3000 series not have the AV1 encode? Somebody correct me. I can't remember. But if the 4000 series has the AV1 encode, that is a deal. That might have been a new thing for the 4000, which is a deal for streamers. Because I forget his name. There's a YouTuber. I just started following him, and he was showing the quality of AV1 encoding. And he was able to do like a 4K stream at like really low data transfers. Like it was really impressive. So if you're into the streaming scene and you want to have really high quality encoding and streaming quality at 4K, AV1 supports. Okay, so Yoshi says he thinks only 3000 series is decode, but 4000 has encode plus decode. So that is a win on the media front. But if you're just a straight up gamer and you're not doing any of that, it's not really a big deal if you're not into that side of things. But yeah, so for streamers wanting high quality encoding and all that, that's a thing. So
yeah, well, if Yoshi's gonna force us into streaming in 1440p, maybe we have to buy these.
I know. So you're gonna buy me now a 4070? Thanks, Ken.
No, Yoshi's buying them for us.
Oh, Yoshi, and he's buying our coffee every week too. So
yes,
thanks, Yoshi.
Thanks, Yoshi. Well, you're gonna end up with like a in the mail. You're gonna get a little like envelope full of coffee grinds from Yoshi, so he can buy you the coffee.
I wouldn't trust them. I'm not taking coffee grounds through the mail. Thank you.
I'm sending you a coffee. The money's apparently the money's on the way. It's in the mail. I've heard that before. The money's in the mail.
With the GPU market, I am currently looking at the used market. I am not interested in the new GPU market. I am interested in looking at used 2000 series and used 3000 series. That's where my eye is at. And I am suspicious that the used market's going to be hurting right now.
Oh, I think prices are going to start dropping. If they can't sell the new ones, people are going to, like, the prices are going to start dropping.
And if I may inject one more opinion on this matter, is that I think GPUs are getting more powerful than what the average person cares about.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling.
Well, kind of going back to last week's episode, if you didn't watch it, we talked quickly about what features people are using, and we were surprised how many people didn't turn on ray tracing and that sort of thing when they were gaming. So a lot of people are just plug and play and start playing, and they forget about it. And I think I mentioned this last week. Someone had done a tweet. I wish I knew who it was talking about how their gaming was just as fun on 1080p as 4K, and it was so true. It's like once you're into the game, it's fun.
Yeah. So
anyway,
yeah.
All right, let's get into the fun articles.
Let's go
and talk about BIOS.
Ooh, that's so fun. Who's ready to dork it out with BIOS update talk?
BIOS update talk. So new BIOS updates attempt to keep the Ryzen 7000X 3D processors from frying themselves. So apparently, and keep in mind there's some Reddit stuff going on here, but apparently some Ryzen 7000X 3D processors are frying themselves and putting bulges on the bottom of them and kind of burning the sockets and things. And I'm sorry, I hear my neighbor mowing his grass out there, so hopefully that's not picking up too much in the stream.
No, it sounds okay.
All right. Well, he'll be under my window shortly.
Part of the experience.
Anyway, now I'm all frazzled here. But yeah, so apparently this is from overheating, and it might be solved with some BIOS updates. Here,
yes,
Stephen, I'll let you take over as I
No, it's all good.
I lose my mind with my neighbor outside the window.
So apparently, there's been speculation that so there was a BIOS update released to better support these CPUs because apparently you were able to use the CPU before even updating your BIOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's speculation that this problem has been happening with the older BIOS version, which may be supplying too much voltage to the CPU, and then it's just too so it may be a BIOS that's more geared. One person speculated that it's more geared towards the non 3D version of the CPU, and that this version with the extra voltage is just too much, and so it could just be too much power killing things. And which we were talking about, like it's a little bit. You're saying that. We're talking about a lot of people are just not going to know this. They're not going to update their BIOS.
No, well, what if you buy a pre-built that came with us, and so you're not really maybe into building PCs. You just want it to work, and you don't ever even know that you can update the BIOS. Or
okay, but the pre-built, if a pre-built was sent to you already like this and wrecked, that's on the company that built its fault.
No,
but this is if you're upgrading the CPU. Then it's the person who's like, oh, I'm going to upgrade the CPU. The person who buys the pre-built usually not going to be the kind who I think is going to be upgrading all the time.
That's true.
But
regardless,
still, you were saying how
have a BIOS version. If you have a BIOS version that supports this, you would expect it to work. And like when I build a PC, I update the BIOS and make sure it's working and it's stable, and then I forget about it. But if it were to fry, I'd be kind of annoyed, right? So.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like, I mean, I get it, but I wish there was something that a pop-up, that mandatory BIOS update or something.
Yeah, my hope. I mean, this might be hindsight, even for the tech team behind these things. It'll be for motherboard manufacturers and stuff. Is that I feel like it should force them to the BIOS and not even let you boot the Windows until there's an update to make sure that if it detects a chip that's not officially supported yet, that it should almost lock you into updating, which would scare off people though who don't know how to do that kind of thing. Now you're going to be freaking out people. So it's this kind of like, you could force that, but then you're going to scare people being like, what's going on? Because a lot of people probably don't know how to update a BIOS. That's probably scary stuff.
Yeah. You can go watch my video.
Yeah, you can.
Anyway. Well, honestly, a lot of people watch my videos on how to update the BIOS on the motherboards I've done it on, because it's not easy. It's not, I mean, I shouldn't say it's hard, but it's without really digging into it. Like the instructions aren't very clear often. So
yeah, and it's just a new area for people. It's just an area that people don't go into unless
you're. Well, and it's expensive, so you don't want to fry it. It's
exactly.
So you want to make sure you do it right. And it's funny, like sometimes BIOS updates won't work with too new of a flash drive because it can't format to the correct format or different things like that. And like there are a lot of situations where that's why I hang on and keep using this old one, because people have troubles with some of the newer flash drives doing BIOS updates because it works well with the old flash drive and different things like that. And I mean, that's always changing, but it can be a problem for sure. So,
but again,
Thomas sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, Thomas is saying, why don't we stop upgrading our phones and computers and the world's just good enough? And I agree, like, in a way. We keep upgrading our stuff, and it was good enough. And I say that as I agree, because there's no reason that your old smartphone that worked great when you bought it 7 years ago should be garbage because it can't run programs anymore. Because it's a useful piece of technology.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I had an old LG Optimus 1. It would not hold up today at all. A single 600 megahertz core Android phone. It ran terrible then. I can only imagine how it runs now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But this part of tech is you're getting more into the people who want to upgrade. It's part of their fun. They enjoy it. They have the money to do it, and it still dies.
Yes.
But anyhow,
All right, we'll move on.
Okay.
We'll move on. Because we could debate this all day.
We could.
That would be the most boring show if we debated that all day.
I know, that would be kind of boring.
We've already lost all our viewers or listeners, probably. All right. Thermal cameras and machine learning combined to snoop out passwords. Ooh, ouch. So this is interesting.
Yeah.
This was the researchers at the University of Glasgow have published a paper that highlights that thermal cameras can basically see, I guess, is it the heat signatures of what you've typed in as passwords, and then it can use AI, I guess, to figure out what the passwords were.
Yeah.
It's kind of a new cyber hacky thing going on.
Yeah.
This is kind of on the scary side.
It is, and it comes with, some caveats to it. So depending on how long they do the scan, so like if it's less than 20 seconds, it can be pretty accurate, and then after 30 seconds, it gets less accurate, and then after 60 seconds. So there's, depending on how quickly someone can get the information, because then it gets a more accurate reading of the temperatures, and then it could detect what was pressed and probably in what order.
It also talks about different kinds of plastics.
Yeah.
From keyboards show up better than others.
And apparently, if you have like the backlight on your keyboard, it's going to make it harder for that kind of thing to work, because the heat from the lighting is going to be a factor. But apparently, the people most prone to this is those who they call Hunted type, like single finger typing people. Because if you have your fingers on all the keys, it's going to make it register, those keys and make it harder. But if you're like someone who's like peck typing, whatever you call it, they're the most prone to being exploited by this.
Yeah. So you need to speed up your typing for this to to not be exploited.
Yeah.
And I have a new invention actually. It's called the heated keyboard. And so
wow.
Thomas is saying he can't use his password 12345 anymore. And
wow.
Cody apparently uses the same password.
Wow.
And then Yoshi's saying, actually, this is old tech. It's been done on card scanners and other pin pads.
Okay.
So
yeah. I wonder if the new part is just the improvement and maybe the algorithm just getting better at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe that's a factor to it, or maybe I don't know.
So if you're watching, there's the link to this article, but there's actually a chart here of how the accuracy of it for how long it delayed before it scanned and how long your password was. So
yeah,
the accuracy was really quite high. Like the one here, short password, after 20 seconds, the accuracy was like 100%.
Yeah.
So
that's the major risk. If someone's able to come like right behind you and like somewhere and scan it, and or if somebody, anyway, that's.
So in other words, if you're punching in your password, just touch all the keys and rub your hand all over the keyboard.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking of it that there could end up being a in your password you do like a fake key. So you have your password and there's like a couple letters that are just false presses that you add to your password.
Yeah, that you hold your finger on for a while.
Yeah, so you know that you're gonna do a password and then you do some fake strokes and then you like. Is like, that part of the?
Make sure you type in 1 2 3 4 or pretend to type in 1 2 3 4 5 first.
Yeah.
And then
before you type in 1 2 3 4 5 6, that's your real password. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See, just giving you folks out there a new password. If you're using 1 2 3 4 5, you can add 6 at the end.
Tech tip of the day. Please don't listen to that. Please don't do that.
Is the oops because Thomas already changed it to 1 2 3 4 5 6, and now we just exploited him.
No, it's because him and Cody have the same password apparently.
So just kind of an interesting thing to keep an eye on and see where that goes down the road.
One more reason to get better at typing. If you use all your fingers for typing and you're quick at it and you have a longer password, and you should be more safe to that. And don't let people come into your house and scan your computer real quickly.
And can we use our use gloves if you go to an ATM?
Ooh, you want to sell those?
Or like can use a pen to tap.
You're not wrong.
There's a whole line of stuff that we can.
So I need a VPN. I need Linux. I need to type with a thing.
Wearing gloves.
I need to have no windows in my room.
Yeah.
I need to.
What's that cage thing called? It starts with F, I think. For
firewall.
No. It's like a cage that your computer's in. Like you're in a room. It starts with an F, I think. Help me out, guys, if you're out there. Farian. Anyway.
Does it stop like Wi-Fi signals and stuff like that?
Yeah. Right. It's like a room where it stops signals from coming in and out.
Right.
Faraday cage, that's right. I knew it started with F, so we're gonna all have to live in one of those.
We all live in a Faraday cage.
There we go. Alrighty, that's our last article, but we do have a question of the day.
Oh, we do.
But before that, what happens at 100 subscribers again?
Yeah, so guys, we're at 97. We're at 97.
Last week we begged so hard for 3 subscribers, and we probably lost subscribers.
No, I think it stayed the same. We're there.
It did stay the same.
We're 3 away, and we're looking to upgrade to 1080p at 100 subscribers here on YouTube. But it should also benefit those who watch the video feed on Spotify and other places like that. Of course, it won't affect the audio quality, but if you'd like us to jump up to 1080p,
we'll try to talk clearer.
Yeah, at 100 subscribers, I will stop mumbling as much. I will speak with HD articulation.
Although right before we started streaming today, we were wondering what was wrong with my audio, and somehow it had defaulted back to the mic in my headphones rather than my mic here.
Yeah.
And so
this week is HD audio from Ken. Because I think last week, I think you may have not had the right microphone on as well. Now that I think about it.
Okay, well.
But anyway, nobody noticed really. So.
Yeah, nobody commented, but all of our...
it's like usual.
So go back and listen to the whole episode and tell us what you think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Any
question of the day?
Question of the day. Yes. Let me find it here. Did you buy a new or used GPU, or do you even have a GPU?
Yeah. Are you on integrated?
So originally, Stephen was like, is your GPU new or used? And I said, well, all GPUs are used.
That was, what I meant.
I know what you meant, but the only reason I said that, I think there's a car commercial that's for a car dealership, and it's like, everybody drives a used car. So
I just, what I mean.
All right. So what's your answer? I know you have already answered this, but
both of my GPUs, all... Yeah, my two GPUs I'm using right now are used.
Okay.
Yeah, I have
mixed. So yeah. I have used and a couple of new. So that's for me. We'll see what others have to say.
I'm curious. I want to know, what are people's thoughts out there right now? Like, are you looking at the used market? Are you looking at the new market? Like,
I'm not opposed to used. I think there's some great deals out there. I'm still I'm on the fence about my old mining cards. I would prefer not to have an old mining card, but if it was really, really cheap. Cody is used.
Yeah.
I know Thomas is new. His is a pre-built system.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What do you have? And I add a bit of an extra to that question. What's your main focus right now if you are in the market for getting a new GPU in general? Are you looking primarily at the used or the new market? Thomas, why are you laughing at your pre-built?
I think Thomas's problem with his pre-built, it's like a gaming PC, like an Acer gaming PC. The biggest thing is the case is so small that it's so limited if he wanted to upgrade his GPU.
Yeah.
You'd have to get one of the like single fan probably ones to fit it in there.
Yeah.
You could do it. It's just quite small.
Yeah.
So, she doesn't want to tell us. So, all right. Well, why don't we wind it down there? Again, thank you everyone for joining us this week on the Tech Chit Chat Show. You can watch us here on YouTube. You can watch us on Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, or listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform. And yeah, we appreciate you all joining us today and sticking through with us for this morning and enjoying your coffee. So until next week, this has been the Tech Chit Chat Show. Cheers. Have a wonderful week.
Yeah.
And take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.